Hi, welcome back to the channel. This will be part 2 of an unboxing of camera grips that I recently unboxed. You may have just seen me unbox these two, so now that they're unboxed and assembled, I'm going to hook them up to a camera to show what the connections look like. And I will include samples of some footage I recently shot on a job, actually shooting from on board a boat. Alright, so we'll start with the two-handed one, which for a heavier camera, and depending on a typical handheld angle, is probably something that is be more commonly used than the other one. So this allows, two-handed use, and you can see the different connectors here. So different options. So you can also add accessories. There's also different shoes, and cold shoes on here, and different mounts on the bottom. So even once these are mounted to a camera, you can actually still mount this to a tripod or a light stand. Same thing up here for more accessories. So in this case, we're just going to center mount it as if we're doing a shoot. So basically take your camera, not always easiest at this particular angle, but so now I got started, so we'll straighten her up, light the camera, and then tighten this. So for those of you who might know Canon cameras or be familiar with them, this is a Canon 5D Mark III. So people that know this camera know it's not light, it's pretty heavy. It's probably about 8 or 9 years old now, but still just a workhorse in the tank. It has never let me down, although it's about due for sensor cleaning, because I get spots occasionally now, which I need to remedy. So I have a 24-105 f4 lens on it right now, and just want to kind of show you how it looks there. So when doing a video shoot, two-handed grip action. So it's pretty balanced. It feels good. It doesn't feel like the most expensive grip in the world, but it's comfortable. It's a nice soft grippy foam with a little red rubber in between, sort of a felty rubber, so it doesn't slip. So I recently took this out on a boat and shot some video, completely handheld with it, with a camera that had a built-in stabilizer. So although it's not perfect, it's pretty darn good for being in a boat, something that moves a lot. Another way to carry this is you can carry just one-handed like that, just to carry it around, or if you have a low-angled shot or something like that. But of course, if you're doing low-angle shots, typically you'd want something that you're able to see the viewfinder, and unfortunately with a 5D Mark III, it has no flexible viewfinder that you can rotate, like my newer camera, which is the Canon R6 Mark II. I used the Mark II actually on the boat shoot, but this rig will work with this camera. It's heavy, but if you're doing it handheld up to your face, it's pretty nice, comfortable, and not too expensive. I know there's a lot more expensive stuff out there, but you don't always need something that fancy. So that's doable. And now we're going to try this one and talk about what are good uses for that. So now we're going to switch to this one. Over here on the other camera. And I'll get a closer shot over here on the other camera. And as you can see right now, currently I have a cell phone adapter on there. So it'd be very convenient to go and do, maybe a real estate shot with that one, because you can handhold it and hold it low. Especially if you have a camera that has an adjustable view screen that can rotate and pop out. That way you can shoot lower angles and still see what you're doing, or shoot high up even if you want to do that. Both of these grips also are meant to sit on flat surfaces as well. They have nice surface mounts on them. This actually has a little bit of a grippy grip rubber foot, which goes the entire length of these two tracks. And the other one, this one also has grips that are just circular at 4 points on the camera. So we're going to move the camera from here to this one. And since it's a heavier camera, I probably want to set it back a little bit. So these are adjustable. So you can move it up, down, left, right, however makes the most sense. I'm gonna move it back just a little bit. I have it about midway, just to make sure. I want to make sure it's a straight line following the lens. So that way wherever I point it, it should be spot on. Tighten her up. And boom, there you have it. So now we have this one too. So again, that's something you could hold very low like this, and with a viewfinder that pops up and pops out, like the R6 or other, at least Canon cameras, which is, I'm a Canon shooter. And I know there are a lot of other cameras that work with this too. It's just generic. But as a Canon guy, I like the Canons, and I have a lot of Canon glass, so that's it. So I did some tests just with a cell phone, just playing with it, but it's a little more portable than the two-handed for doing things, you know, where you got motion like this. Woo, fun stuff. Anyway, and like I said, you know, maybe real estate walkthroughs and that kind of thing. So a little simpler than using a gimbal, which takes a lot more balancing. This, if you have an image stabilizer in the lens or body or both, my understanding is you pretty much don't need a gimbal for that, unless you're doing something a little more, with a lot more motion in it, but I'm talking about just walkthroughs and that kind of thing. So far, thumbs up to both these devices. These are from the brand Zeadio. Not sure how well that's going to show up, but there it is. So far so good.